hide them around. Dazzle's always going to be annoying, though. That's the one wildcard factor I have for VP, if the game drags on, is that noticed Dazzle is going to be a real big nuisance. Your backline jump isn't that straightforward until you get, like, multiple blinks. And,
They're running right into each other. K1, he's going to see FNG. They'll see Kiritich as well, but they'll go for the tree and kill as Moon does move in with the stomp out. FNG dropping low. K1, he's dropping low to boot, but they do get the first blood first. Yamsun, he's the one to take it on the Phoenix of all things. As the fight does continue, they want Kiritich now. The troll dropping extremely low. Gunner, he will be able to help get that one as Yamsun gets a secondary kill. The Phoenix taking everything now as Moo finds a double stun out. Notice dropping low. Surely Yamsun can't take this one. Notice sticking around will turn back in onto Moo. Here comes Yamsun again. Notice is, Notice is down. A triple kill for Yamsun. Yamsun, you're not the pos one anymore, sir.
I mean, this is still massive for a Phoenix.
Moo will die to the T2 tower. Fair enough. Just wants the reset. Doesn't really give too much away anyways. Yamsun moves back in.
No, don't trade like this.
I would laugh so much. There's no way FNG dies again to Yamsun. Kiritich moving in. Here we go. A killing spree to be taken here, John. Fed to Kiritich, it seems, as Yamsun has no way out. And that'll be the killing spree handed over to the troll at 16 seconds into the game.
Now already 3-3. This is way more action-packed than the 2-hour game we had earlier of Tundra versus Quest already. Good to see. Now Nouns and VP are keeping it spicy. I don't know if that really hurts too much. I think just getting all those kills in Yamsun early is fine. Auto attack C9.
Yeah, he was just changing the configs, I think, John.
C9 on Phi. I'm trying to figure out what the hell that means.
Oh yeah, trouble again. Double Brambles being taken here by the Phoenix, and he might actually be dead to say if he wants to go for the chase. Loses vision. Yamsun does Fairy Fire anyway, so he is going to be just fine. The bottom lane already, though, just so much aggression being provided, and this Dark Willow Dazzle lane, it's not the easiest to go up against. You know, you've been talking about it over and over again, but this Dazzle, this Poison Touch during the laning stage, it is very annoying.
That it is. Dazzle's also universal as well, mind you. So stat padding here for Notice, going for the triple branch, double circlet, 64 right click damage. Feels really nice to trade with. Pretty smooth attack animation as well. So you have a pretty good time lined up here. You should be able to try to shut down Hector early on. That's why the early first bloods for Yamsun were actually really important. Just to have the boots up in this lane. Just to be able to run away from the Dazzle and Poison's Touch is there. Try to juke around from the Bramble. It's really important for the Phoenix to try to work that lane. See, as it develops up top, we are taking a look at FNG on the Treant along with Kiritich on that Troll, up against Lelis on the Sky and Moo on the Centaur. So even though it's not a cow, he's still a four-legged creature. I'm sure Moo is pretty happy about that. This lane is fairly straightforward for VP. It's not a lane where your Centaur can just run up and threaten, even though it is technically a double melee lane if you want to count Troll as melee. There's a lot of protection here. There's a lot of damage back. And the damage that they can do on VP is pretty scary. You have to respect it. They are cutting down the tree line. They're trying to make it difficult for FNG to just stand and trade freely. But this is a free farm lane for Kiritich so far. I don't see him being slowed down anytime soon.
Absolutely not. They seems to be having a pretty damn great time on the Troll. Very least, Moo doesn't seem too threatened by this whatsoever either. He'll be able to find his own farm as they do move in for a cheeky little hoof stomp. A bit of harassment being dealt their way. You can't really underestimate how much damage the Centaur can deal with that double edge as well. Like, just so much damage output, so much burst potential these days with the Centaur, and of course with the little changes to hoof stomp, adding a bit of mobility to boot. This hero can be a little bit cheeky if you're not too careful is the word I think I'm looking for.
Yeah, can catch you by surprise. Just that added 0.5 where you can move and reposition to get stunned. Mudo isolated.
Of course, I've cursed him. No, he's got some help on the way, but it looks like he is in pretty big danger, though he does have a Lotus, so it would have been fine anyway. But a lot of harassment being dealt here from VP. Luckily for Mu, he does have the Ring of Health, so we'll be able to just passively regen up and does actually salve himself up anyway. How's that mid lane been going as well? I mean, Gunnar versus Squadix is the one lane we haven't actually looked at all. It is certainly favoring Squadix, 20 and 11 in terms of CS compared to the 13 and 3 of Gunnar. But based on the hero matchup, you kind of expect that to be happening. This K1,
Yeah.
he was in danger bottom lane, but he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, the mid lane matchup, again, we've seen this time and time and again with the rise of Shaker mid. Pangolier doesn't trade too well there. Shaker can just keep denying water runes. Not as important for the Shaker, although you are starting to run low here for Squadix to try and trade. And now it's again getting out of rotation mid to ensure that bottle top up won't come out anytime soon for Squadix. Does give Gunnar a little bit of an opening, at least, to try to farm safely there. So not going to be held down as long. Down bot, Yamson.
Bit of a jump onto the Phoenix. A Poison Touch still going for a little bit, but is going to wear off eventually, though they do go into the Shadow Realm to try and get a bit more damage onto the Phoenix, but it seems like he is okay to walk away. K1 still stuck on 13 CS here against this Dazzle and Dark Willow combo, and I suppose that is also expected for K1, is you've got to play very safely against this combination. In that Poison Touch slow, it really does start to rack up, and you can't be too careful.
No, you certainly can't be. I like that Notice is also rushing the Ags, so you'll have that reverse Shadow Wave, which is, I mean, that 100%, 150% equivalent for the normal healing damage. It's a huge buff for the Dazzle to just kind of look for that burst play. So it's going to enable that really aggressive style that VP will want to bring out. I think Hector, his lane's going relatively slower than the Troll, which it isn't the worst bit of news. Sven can certainly just play in the jungle early on, especially once you have at least a Morbid Mask up. So Hector shouldn't get held back too badly.
Bit of a jump on Kiritich. He's okay. Just noticing that he is alone for a moment. They do make the jump in to try and force him away from the creep wave. FNG does reveal he was by the twin gates on the bottom side of the map. K1, oh, he doesn't land the stun in time.
It's going to fly
across the map. It won't matter though, of course. FNG, he'll just cop it by his own tier 1 tower. A little bit unfortunate because they probably could have secured a kill had they landed that, but it doesn't matter. Mid lane. Echo committed. Gunnar, he'll cop it, and Squadix, he just gets the easiest kill of his life. An Echo slam onto the creep wave. It makes it very easy to take down Gunnar.
That doesn't take too much for the Shaker there. Gets his mana topped up. Feels good, and again, his control in that lane, it's overwhelming. Gunnar's not going to have that great of a time ramping up into his defusal. To be fair, he is keeping up with his other cores, at least in farm, but this disparity with Squadix, it's going to be a really fast blink coming out on the Shaker.
Okay,
Grouping up bot.
Yeah, Chase is on for K1. Notice keeping the poison attack going, or rather poison touch going, as K1 does get into the tree line, and Notice will eventually just kind of leave him be. They've kept the Sven so low quite a bit of time, and K1 probably at the stage now where he just realizes it's not worth staying in the lane anymore. He'll try for the jungle. It is much earlier than he would like, but I don't believe he has too much of a choice anymore.
No. Again, this is not the worst thing in the world for Hector. The issue is FNG will just track him down. So it's not going to be a safe time to just AFK farm either.
Meanwhile, the Wisdom Rune spot on the Dire side, Yamsun trying to run from Seiyu, does get the Wisdom Rune at the least, so he's already pretty happy. Just being able to take the rune away, and he's actually going to go for a TP play out. Seiyu cannot secure the kill anyway. So Yamsun, he really gets away with murder that time around.
Nice little freebie coming out there. Wisdom Rune control completely on the outside, which is really important. You've got the Phoenix Sense die.
Oh, very nice stun from Mu. Perfect setup from Lelis to burn Mu. He is very happy seeing that. As Lelis, he will get the tips from his teammates. Seeing that troll go down is not going to make VP feel very happy.
No, and Kiritich is trying to go for the Battle Fury as well to try and ramp up his own farm, so it's going to be stalled out a little bit. Again, his lane has gone better than Hector's, but not by a huge margin. As they are starting to focus in on mid just a little bit. Two supports rotating in from both sides here.
VP
Not going to be able to find anything.
Yeah.
Just play it safe. Try to build up some stacks, I guess. Try to Echo Slam for Squadix. He's got a good amount. There you go. free farm for the Shaker. Blink not going to be too far off now. And that's when they can really start playing with a support duo. Even just, say, hitting level 6 on Sayu at this point with the Dark Willow, giving that Bedlam over onto Squadix with a Blink forward. It's going to be a lot of output coming out from VP. So some key timing starting to line up for that early aggression. I think the side of Nouns are also starting to hit that timing, though. Like, once you've got at least the Mystic Flare up on Lelis with the level 2 Ancient Seal, with the magic damage for Mu, I mean, that added magic amp, it's going to be massive on trying to commit onto these heroes. We aren't at that insanity point yet with the Dazzle, with Shallow Grave coming into play. No value point picked up yet. So you don't need to worry about the saves. You can start to look for just early aggression on Nouns with this kind of decently strong start. Like, everything outside of the mid lane matchup has worked in Nouns' favor here.
Certainly has a very slight net worth lead, the way of Nouns, but they're having a very good time. Squadix, though, he does have the blink up now on the Shaker, so he might look to make some plays here with his team. Top lane, they have already grouped up to try and slowly start forcing the tier 1 tower. Mu and Lelis looking to back their way out as Squadix is smoked up. Mu, he's going to go for the Lotus. Does he have the game sense to back out of here before the Shaker gets around? In fact, never mind that, because the Shaker, he's looking for Lelis. He's going to find the stacks being made in the Radiant Triangle. And in fact, K1, oh, the TP at the perfect time. But he does TP away, or rather run away. Squadix was unable to finish the job.
Oh.
Squadix, oh, he's the one in danger. How has it turned this way? Squadix goes down. K1 somehow survives. How does that even happen?
They just don't manage to catch him out. Yeah, they're not quick enough onto that control. Hector gets some really on the edge game sense to back off, and he even managed to save the stacks anyway. So Hector still has some flash farm set for himself, coming back in there with that nice kill. That's the blink reveal being shown up by VP if they checked his inventory. So they should be able to set up for that, not going to be caught off guard with the initiation from Squadix. And getting everything going the way of Nouns. Like, stacks stay alive. Hector pops Godstrand, massive stacks to clear out. So much farm, so much net worth. That's going to be a quick Echo Saber coming in, into the disassembly, into the BKB. They're still grouped up here on VP. And they still have that slam. They still have the blink ready to go at very least.
Certainly do. Yeah, some nice Icarus dive away to avoid any kind of ganking coming. Oh, 5-4 now. Very slight net worth lead for Nouns. Still remaining. Mu top of the net worth board on the Centaur as well, of all things. Going for his own blink on that Centaur. We'll have it up rather soon. That's 700 gold away from that. I think you kind of spoke about this in game 1, but Mu, if he is given the space to get this kind of farm, like, he does tend to pop off, and VP, they have not put anywhere near as much emphasis in trying to shut this man down this game. To be fair, I suppose he's not playing the Spirit Breaker, which, as we saw, was completely busted once he gets the items up, but I'm pretty sure Centaur can be pretty damn strong himself. And speaking of, Mu maybe now gets caught as the Echo is committed. He just showed up in this area. He'll try to stampede away, but the Brambles is going to lock him down. They will punish him in the end.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They do manage to get some punishment. I think the big thing for VP is that you're also trying to play a farm game for Notice, and for Notice, it's coming out freely. Like, he is going to have this Ags timing lined up. He's going to have that reverse Shadow Wave ready to go, and he's still going into the Midas, so you're going to have some scaling on the off. I think if for Nouns, I'm surprised you're not capitalizing on this Dazzle, right? With no Shallow Grave, it's not as much of a nuisance, although.
Fisher out, he is locked down. Squadix will take another. More TPs incoming. Gunnar looks to want to try and go after the Dark Willow and does cancel with the Rolling Thunder, so say you. He's just going to go down. They'll have the kill over to Gunnar.
At least we're not stuck in coins.
Still, VP would have been very satisfied with the position 3, position 4 kills they have already found at this top lane.
Yeah, it's, again, it's a trade-off. Like, you're punishing Mu, but you're enabling Hector right now, whereas for VP, you're having to drag in Kiritich, who is still working towards the Battle Fury, but you are buying a lot of space for Notice. Ag's going to be flying up. The Midas coming through next. Like, the fact that the Dazzle's been left alone so long is a little bit concerning for Nouns. I think it's just this kind of timing is going to be a little bit hard to contend with. Granted, you are going to be limited by your mana pool now in the middle of these long engagements for Notice, but you eventually spam bad juju enough that you'll have your arcane boots up, so maybe it's not as impactful as you'd want, or rather even start those 6-6 and a less than 1k lead coming out from nouns. But the farm distribution is really even across the board. No real item advantage for either side coming out here, although the earlier tempo does feel maybe a little bit better for nouns, but I don't think VP's that bad off. I think the one thing for VP right now is that they're not really able to commit onto the towers like they would want to with a troll. So we're seeing some decent fights from VP, but no transition onto the objectives. And nouns, they're starting to go hunting now. A bit of a smoke out with Lulz and Moo.
Bottom lane, FNG's been very cautious here. I mean, just farming by that tier 1 tower. They are going to move in. Moo gets the stun, got the Mystic Flare. Nice, easy pick off for them. They might even just move into the bottom tier 1 tower while they're at it. In fact, never mind that. They are going to just move away. Lilith will TP back towards his team, and it seems like Moo just makes the call that he wants to continue farming for now. VP, though.
Yeah.
They will smoke up as 2. Squadix, he's got the Echo up again. Double damage room brought it up to boot. K1 is currently chasing Kiritis, but Kiritis is actually baiting them in at the moment. Squadix makes the jump in. He found Gunner. Gunner cannot get away. Gets locked down by the Brambles, and that'll be enough to ensure they secure the kill. At the very least, they do get K1 out of there, but still not a great feeling for now.
No, Gunner, and at the very least, he already has his diffusal. He's trying to go onto the blink to have an easier time in coming in, but this is now the opening, right? They find that kill, they get a push going on VP so they can start to invade a little bit more into the triangle area, cut off some of that farm. And the side of nouns are, well, they're still kind of stuck in this mode where they're still waiting for Moo to be ready. It's Gunner copying the short end of the stick from the chorus, but you know, you are buying space out for your other farm-intensive cores to build up. I am just concerned, again, when Notice decides to show up now, that's when it can get dicey. It's still level 1 Shallow Grave, and the Might is still coming out, but this Dazzle has been free-farming much, much more than even Moo has been this game.
Oh, that he has. Acts up, noticed. Moving into that Radiant Triangle with the rest of his team. Feeling much more confident as they're looking at Moo now on the Centaur, though I think they'd much prefer Lilith if they could, because he's the much easier kill. They might still try, though, with the Brambles, or rather bedlam out. Moo is okay. They won't stick around too long, VP. Unable to burst the Centaur quickly, they'll just leave the area before the TPs start incoming.
I think the one thing VP needs to achieve next is start to consider their Roche timing. Like, after an objective, like, you can take Roshan really damn fast with a troll. They're not really able to capitalize on it. They're also sharing a lot of map space, like in terms of jungle priority right now. Like, no massive stacks for Kiritic. They've been clearing it out. Again, first set of stacks for Squadix. Next set of stacks went to Notice. Now Kiritic is getting some investment onto that BKB. They need a little bit more oomph into that troll, as you are starting to pull away now on Hector, despite some of the ganks onto him. Like, this BKB on this fan is not too far off for the recipe now. And they're also taking control of the Roche area, which is, again, very smart from nouns. They could even consider taking it with the God Strength, but they're probably just going to gun for an objective, shove in, and maybe look for a gank. Bot could be a prime spot to fight in. And if they decide to get across, that could work in their favor.
Well, the T1 tower will go both ways, it looks like, as both bottom and top being focused by opposing teams.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Both teams more than happy to secure more and more farm. K1 currently sitting at the top of the net worth board. Almost has his BKB fully completed. Kiritic going for the exact same thing. Just a few hundred gold off his own BKB now. So both carries will have those available pretty damn soon. So Kiritic in the meantime has rather noticed, has found a haste rune. Will be able to pick it up for himself, and well, sadly there's not really anyone shying for them to chase down. They could look towards Moo again on the Centaur, but he has a full blade mail up now, so it's not really well advised. Traps bottom. Squadix, easiest kill of his life, just commits the echo onto Yamsun. That was a very quick one onto the Phoenix.
Yeah, nice little freebie. Not the biggest one to find. I think I'll be honest with you. I'm just watching Noticed. I'm trying to see how often he'll spam the bad juju to drop his Midas cooldown. He's doing it every now and again. Now he is being efficient, Mike. Here we go. This is the tech that Avo talked to me about before all the pros were running Dazzle mid.
It's good. I like it.
Good. Good. I wouldn't. It's disgusting. Look at that. Midas off cooldown. Again. Do it again, Noticed. One more time. Keep going. What gameplay? You know, it's so funny. Dazzle mid with Midas, or Dazzle offlane Midas, and mid troll with Midas. Mid ogre with Midas are actually viable. What a world we live in, Mike.
It's a funny world, John. It really is. Mid lane. Excuse me, rather the dire jungle. They have found the Shaker. Squadix popping his BKB to survive the Mystic Flare. Gunner still rolling around. Looks like he does need to leave the area because Squadix is looking to move in, but does not have a way to get in. Smooth jumps in himself now, trying to pick up the tree, though he's taking way too much damage here from Kiritich, and he will go down. It's a 1-for-1, but you gave up the Centaur for the tree. Not going to feel the greatest for Nouns. It seems like they will retreat. It's VP. Should be okay with that fight.
They're more than happy. They forced out the egg. They forced out Stampede as well. So there's a couple of spells that Nouns will need to wait for before re-engaging. VP don't really have that many big spells to really consider first before taking these fights. Heck, even the Overgrowth was held back there. So they're still going to have that option on FNG. And this game definitely is more of a farm fest. 8 to 9, 20.5 minutes in. No major net worth advantage popping out yet for either side once more. There is a smoke out from VP though. Saw you, Noticed, and Squadix looking for something to happen here.
Looking through that Radiant jungle, see if they can find something. K1's actually the closest target to them. If they continue to run towards the west, they will find the Sven. Keep in mind, K1, he does now have a BKB up. He'll jump in there with the Echo. He may not have a chance to pop it, but no, he gets it just in time. He'll turn around for the fight. The Overgrowth, it'll lock him down, but here comes Gunner. He has found himself FNG. Meanwhile, Squadix, he got his BKB off in time, so he's still alive, but Nellis is trying to chase him down with the right clicks, but he can't get it. Squadix is out. FNG is the only one to fall so far. Kiritich, he has been harassed just a little bit here by Gunner and Lelis, but will be able to retreat safely. Didn't even need to pop his BKB through that fight.
That was a shallow grave from Noticed, saving Squadix. We're getting a glimpse already of what it can do. And it's a level 3 shallow grave as well. Not quite the full duration and the highest healing amplification just yet, but that already puts a spanner in the works there for Nouns. Nouns are going to smoke up. They've got the egg ready at the very least for this next fight, so we can still try to force something out here.
Now they're going to try and Kiritich perhaps, but getting the BKB with his teammates nearby may make it pretty challenging to burst down the troll quick enough.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Perhaps they can look for some perma-stuns here. Kiritich looking to start Roshan. Nouns are literally right behind him. They might just make the jump in. Kiritich does get... No, he got the BKB in time. Moo's the one in danger. Terrorize out. It connects on both. Gunner and Moo are gone. And Kiritich tries to move in on Lelis. He'll turn in onto Yamsun instead. Yamsun will go down eventually. And Kiritich, quick on the fingers. Sees the hoof stomping coming, gets the BKB in time, and that completely ruins the fight for Nouns.
And that's a massive win for the side of VP, translating into that Roshan we were talking about earlier. And this is where the momentum starts to come into VP. They can start to take these objectives really fast. They don't need to care about too much coming out from Nouns, especially while these cooldowns are still up. And for Nouns, it does feel like they still need more farm. You know, you're not quite ready yet on Hector. He needs that full Silver Edge at least, and possibly just have that full Satanic on top for your truly comfy there. Moo working towards the BKB. Does look like he should have most of it flying out now, and he's going for the Sanj. A little bit more stat res. Probably wants the heart as well before you're fully comfy. And for now, it does feel like it's just going to take a lot more farm. Just because VP's timing is now, they've got this farm accelerating coming out on notice. They've got the saves ready to go. They've got the team fight with FNG and Squadix. And all Nouns can really do is try to be defensive. Maybe you can hope for a pickoff, but you kind of need to bank on just baiting in VP, maybe trying to stampede away and seeing if you can re-engage. If not, just go back farming. It's going to have to be a stall game for a while here.
VP, okay, advanced now, Ags up. We're going to be the aggressors. And then in this room being picked up here by Kurdic.
What sort of prize is this?
They will go ahead and just back off for a moment, get that farm going again. Kurdic has queued up a Satanic now, so wants to have that back up before the next fight. Look, a Silver Edge being brought up here on K1. Pretty standard for the Sven. Squadix going for his own Silver Edge, which is, again, quite standard for the core Shaker.
Dire are scanning.
Gonna inching closer and closer to an Aghanim Scepter himself, but still about 2.3k away. VP, they'll all go through the Twin Gate. They'll meet up with Kurdic. They'll go back up towards the north because they've seen K1, I believe. Oh, K1. Oh, boy. K1, he shows them the creep wave. FNG, he can move in and he has the overgrowth if he needs it to lock him down. They'll go after Yamsun first with the Echo. And now K1. Somehow he's still running. They never got the overgrowth off. I suppose they just aim Yamsun instead. And K1, he did have his BKB to be absolutely fair. So it looks like they just weren't confident in their ability to actually take him down. Maybe they just find him in the triangle, though. K1, he's still here. He'll pop the Shadow Blade or rather Silver Edge for now. That'll be enough to allow him to get away. Still VP are chasing.
FNG.
What is it, John?
FNG was so far forward. He's just trying to trade with Gunner. He did force out the roll. He will find a tier 1 objective off the back of it. The loss of Yamsun, not the biggest deal for now. It is an opening for VP. And it's like we said, with Aegis on Troll, you can start piercing through these objectives, no problem. And tier 2 is going to be under heavy threat. Not too much room to try and defend this. On the side of now, it's considering how much more farm they need. Like, you want that Satanic on Hector before really trying to commit here. And they're going to be able to get a lot done off the back of this rush. That's the scary thing about this VP draft. Just the push spread. You've got the full Ags now.
NG, unable to get the lockdown he wanted. Right onto the T3 tower. VP will go. They will be forced to retreat, but they do get at least half the HP of the tier 3 and see a lot of damage being dealt already towards Nouns. At the very least, K1 is right behind the Troll in terms of farm. Just about 200 gold behind, in fact. Just still trying to get his own farm going, but the times are certainly a little bit rough right now for the Radiant side of things.
That it is. 4K deficit's not the biggest in the world. It is still playable. The main concern is just how your support structure is for Nouns, right? Like, how are you going to take these fights? Because when you look at VP with the AoE control they have with both Bramble and Overgrowth and Echo Slam, with the saves you've got for your Troll, with the fact that not only does he have Shallow Grave, he still has Battle Trance to play with as well. So trying to pin down Kurdic is a pretty tall order right now for the side of Nouns. Like, even if it's not the biggest net worth lead, it's much better off for VP in terms of taking these engagements at the moment. For Nouns, you need to be a lot more durable on Mu to really be disruptive up front. You're going to need more durability as well on K1. You're going to want that full Ags, maybe a Basher onto Gunner as well after that. And all of that just takes a lot of farm. And they're running out of map space. Like, VP are still just applying this pressure, always grouped up as a team, looking for that push, just backing up Kurdic. And again, they've taken out a lot of objectives with the Aegis expiring. They've got the Basher, they've got the full Satanic on Kurdic. They can actually keep going. They don't really care. I mean, who needs Aegis when you have Battle Trance plus fully leveled Shallow Grave? You don't care too much.
FNG sneaking up, has the Overgrowth looking around. Sentry Ward's placement. You can let, or rather, jump in. Egg is out. The tree line is broken. The egg is not being focused whatsoever as they do just back out of there. However, they have to leave FNG behind. I was going to say
worth a lot of gold.
that was not a ward, by the way. It was a gem on the list. Go on, John.
FNG's worth a lot of gold. 364 plus 405. 700 gold off the back of one pick off in the support. Not the smallest sacrifice from VP. They will find something in exchange. So that does settle down that hurt a little bit. And they do manage to get a little bit of chip damage going onto the tier 3. I mean, it's basically about to fall from another shove. VP, again, they don't even need to wait for next Roshan, as long as Notice is around. And Notice is going for the Octarine, so just try to have fun with that. With Shallow Grave Octarine plus the cooldown reduction from Bad Juju. That's it's going to be something to deal with.
Oh, absolutely. He even found an Arcane Rune on Notice. Here we go.
God.
Sometimes here for the Dazzle. VP still a very strong position. Heritage, no new items queued up yet, but imagine he might think about the Abyssal Blade. Very confidently just pushing out that top creep wave, trying to look towards the top tier 2 tower. Nouns still trying their absolute best to avoid the side of VP until they have some more items up. But they might find Squadix, who does push out this creep wave. K1, he will go right into him, but no, the BKB is forced. The Stormhammer will not be able to stun him. But an immediate smoke from Nouns. They want to rush right towards the bottom lane because they know there's no BKB available on the Shaken now. So this could be the opportunity they've been looking for. Mer, he might see Squadix, and he does. The Nouns, they draw a line back to the mid lane. They won't initiate around that area, but rather maybe the Radiant Triangle, which is where VP are now. Oh, Kiradich, he shows mid-wave. Mystic Flare is out. He couldn't get the BKB, but the Shallow Grave is going to buy enough time for him to be able to get the Battle Trance off, and he will be able to survive, get them back to full HP, right up to K1. He's got the Sven. This is not looking like the fight for Nouns. They will lose too. Gunnar, he's running up towards the north, but that is not his base. And he will get deleted by Noticed. 3 down for Nouns. VP lose nothing. And now with the 10k advantage, they will rush right through the mid lane onto the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, you can't kill Kiradich even if you catch him out. It has to be the backline taken care of first. They do manage to apply that silence onto Noticed, but it's just a little bit too late. You know, he already managed to get off one usage of Shallow Grave. That's more than enough to save Kiradich. And now the high ground just melts. Like, this is the consequence of losing a team fight to Troll. When the creep wave's right next to you, it will just melt. Mid falls, bot to follow, tier 2 still protecting top at the very least, so mega creeps aren't coming out yet. But they've got to find a way to reach onto Notice. Like, you have to remove this Dazzle. He has nothing defensive on him. If you can get the silence onto him first and then change some Kiradich, that fight goes a very different way for Nouns, but they're forced to jump Kiradich first. And Noticed again, just one Shallow Grave. It makes a difference here.
It certainly does. 15k advantage now as VP looking towards the next Roshan, and we get to see a bit of a highlight of that last fight. And Kiradich, he was very close to going down, but just the Shallow Grave and then the Battle Trance. Full HP immediately for the Troll. There's just complete chaos after that. Moo going down up to the north, and K1 just could do nothing against the Troll Warlord. Gunnar trying to run away, but also getting caught out in the end. And well, now, of course, Roshan has begun for VP. They'll get the Abyssal Blade up on Kiradich now. So even more utility being offered here from VP. Now, they are making their way towards the Roshan pit. They have a very good idea that this Roshan is happening. All spells are up for VP. Here we go, K1 rushing right in. Echo, though, committed in the back. They found Gunnar, and Gunnar is down. The fight just begun. K1, he'll pop his BKB early. Roshan will go the way of Kiradich, so they've got the Aegis up. K1, he's getting kited. He's trying after Notice, but Notice is perfectly fine. Still chasing him down, but now the BKB's worn off and he can't do it. K1, he's going to pop the Satanic, but he's getting bashed completely. He can do nothing. It's the Phoenix Egg. It does pop from Yamsun. It was ignored in the Roshan pit, but it just makes no difference. As Mill will eventually go down. They are going to find the Skywrath to boot, it seems like, as Lelis will try to run, but the chase is on from Kiritich. He'll get a triple kill on the Troll Warlord. And the only survivor is Yamsun on the Phoenix, who TP's back towards his base.
They just have such great sense. I mean, the fact that Squadix is just going for these one-man echoes is massive. Like, he's finding these big targets he needs to go for. He's managing to pin them down and just preventing Gunnar from having a game. All their team fights tied into that egg and into that Rolling Thunder. Like, it's all down to that. The Hoof Stomp is nice, but you need a follow-through from those two spells. And taking one of those out of the equation just ruins the gameplay of Nouns. Now just going for straight tier 4s. VP, they know what's happening here. They've got the damage, they've got the Aegis, they don't need to care.
One ancient away from forcing the draw now. Kiritich onto the second tier 4 tower. Yamsun being a nuisance with these fire spirits, just making it very hard for him to get the damage off. Still, he will be able to get the secondary tier 4. K1 is up in 13 seconds. That's going to force VP to back off and retreat. Even with the Aegis up on Kiritich, they do not want to hand away a bit of a comeback here for Nouns, so they'll play it very safe, they'll reset, and they'll come back another day. So if they really do want, they'll spot out a double damage on the power rune spot, and it seems like Squadix, he will find it. So things get even worse if you are the Radiant Heroes. It seems like Kiritich will be able to probably go ahead and bottle up, or maybe just even pick up the double damage. The bottle is there. He'll be able to hold on to it for now. Nouns, they did smoke out of their base towards the Wisdom Rune and the Tormentor. But against the DD Rune and the Aegis, I'm sure they just want to avoid a fight completely once they do notice that the double damage has been committed. Kiritich, though, he just wants to move straight into the base. He might find himself a free easy target. Gunnar swashbuckles away. The Ancient, keep in mind, is exposed, and Kiritich, he's just going to slowly chip away at it. 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, and he's committing. Moo, he'll jump in. They've got the hoof stop. The Troll is perfectly fine for now as the Overgrowth comes out. Gunnar, he's going to get locked down. K1 will run away. He'll run towards Squadix, but Gunnar, he's been left behind. They'll lose the Pangli straight off the bat as K1. He has no BKB left. He's got to try and fight somehow, but he's been locked down already by Kiritich, and he's just down. No buyback available. In they go for more. Gunnar does return back into the fight with his own buyback, and that might stop VP from pushing, as they did lose 2 of their supports, and it will. Kiritich will back off with a TP, and Nouns will hold on to the game.
Yeah. They're hanging on, but they don't have solutions for Kiritich. Like, this Troll's just doing way too much. It's so easy to kite around the side of Nouns right now, as long as you get the good overgrowth. Like, even with a roll-up for Gunnar, they're so patient. FNG just waits, looks for that blink opportunity, and ensures that the Rolling Thunder is just not going to do much. Nouns, they're 1 racks away from Megas, an exposed Ancient away from the end of the game. At least it will heal up a little bit, but I know how you take these fights. I'm not seeing the solution coming out here. The best deal right now for Nouns is try to find backline, or either pin down Squadix. It does feel like you have to silence up Notice at the least with the Ancient Seal. So silence up the Dazzle and try to clean up everyone else in that period could be the way to play, but that's easier said than done. You even have the full BKB already up for Notice as well anyway.
Oh, hold on a minute. They found the Shaker. Shallow Grave, Squadix, he's going to survive. He'll get his BKB off. Moo's the one to go down on the cliff. It's Gunnar. The Rolling Thunder, he needs to leave the area. It is not safe. They are chasing him down. Terrorize. It is barely going to connect on the edge. Just barely. In the meantime, Kiritich, top lane. He's onto the tier 3 tower. There'll be a buyback out from Moo. They are playing without Gunnar because he did die back. 80 seconds without the Pangoli.
It's going to take a miracle to survive this one. I don't see the answer. I just don't see a hole.
Echo committed. Squadix just deleting Yamsun, but an immediate buyback from the Phoenix now. In goes Moo. He'll throw out a hoof stomp, but it's just a casual hoof stomp into a double edge. K1 has popped his God Strength, but in comes Kiritich. He's happy to oblige by the fight. The overgrowth, it'll lock them down. They have got the spend. K1 is gone. Moo is not looking too happy either. He's going to try and fight, but he needs to run. There's too many heroes.
Oh my
This game
God.
is over. VP will successfully tie up the series 1-1. And that means we might have a mess of some tiebreakers.
That we could have, Mike. This draw does